What is going on, guys? Politics Gaming here, and today we are returning back to episode 12 of the United States of America. I know there's not been that much of a schedule on the posting of these videos, but I have been trying to get these out at least once a week. So again, just bear with me as I try to work with myself and with others just to make sure that you guys are getting the content that you deserve and love so much. Thank you all for supporting me on my channel, and if you don't mind, please go to my Patreon and support me on Patreon. There is also a join option to be a part of my YouTube memberships on the bottom of the screen. So if you want to do that and support my content as you love it, just go ahead and support me there. But other than that, let's go ahead and get into the episode. So what we're doing today, we are actually in June of 2020. We are now 136 days away from the presidential election, and the presidential campaign should start around day 60. So before we actually get into the election, I'm going to go ahead and play it, and we're just going to let time pass by as we go around and change some of the laws before the election, because obviously if you have played this game before, you are not able to actually change the laws during the election campaign. They will only be introduced as promises in which you will be, wow, we are making $1.1 trillion off of the industrial pollution tax. Wow, that is crazy. That is crazy. $111 billion would be lost if we reduce that by 0.1%. That is crazy. What we actually could do is we can actually eliminate a tax if we wanted to, and then replace it with a tax on industrial pollution and just make up the costs by doing that. We could actually get rid of maybe even the highway toll tax. $17 billion is kind of minimal to our national production. We are making $136 billion off of nationalized sectors. Let's go over to energy and actually look at that, and let's go ahead and play this again, and then also get rid of this next song that we're about to deal with. And we've got a couple of messages right here. Let's just go ahead and pay attention to all of that, and actually after I check on this, let's go ahead and accept that. Let's go over here. So what actually I might want to do, Russia nuclear accident, we're going to refuse that. We have an opportunity to eliminate Velisi Slutin. We're going to refuse that as well. Let's go ahead and dismantle some of our older nuclear reactors, just because they have a better chance of actually failing. They are actually a threat to our national security. So what we can actually do is we're going to go ahead and invest about $103 billion, actually almost $100 billion, $20 billion annually, $96 billion over the next 5 years. We're going to dismantle 15 older nuclear reactors and go ahead and start switching that over to just some of the 3G nuclear power. So I really don't know, because actually these are usually supposed to actually produce about like 20 terawatts, 21.8 terawatts per facility. But one of the things is actually for some reason in the game, whenever you actually have a nuclear reactor, you're actually, so this one for example, this one actually like literally produces 6 terawatts. So some of these are not even producing 21 terawatts as they usually should be. So if we dismantle them, we're not losing that much electricity, but at the same time, we're going to go ahead and invest in a couple more brand new nuclear reactors. There are 15 that we are dismantling, but we need to go ahead and actually just invest in a couple more nuclear reactors just to make sure that our electrical upkeep can actually keep up. So we're going to go ahead and invest in one. We just placed one in Delaware. We're going to go ahead and come over to New Mexico. We're going to go ahead and let's do this about west of El Paso, but within the borders of New Mexico. So let's go ahead and place that one right there. We're going to go ahead and shoot for about 25 new or just current 3G nuclear power nuclear reactors. Because the proper term actually of calling them, we're going to go ahead and place this one in Central California. In reality, they probably actually wouldn't like that because California is actually getting rid of them. But one of the proper terms of actually calling a nuclear reactor nuclear power plant is by the amount of nuclear reactors they actually have. So usually some of them actually have 1 or 2 nuclear reactors, and it's really interesting. Green Bay is not right here, otherwise we'd build one outside of Green Bay. Let's go ahead and build this one in the northern panhandle of Michigan. I don't know what Michiganians would actually think of that. And let's go over to 3rd generation nuclear power. And this one is completely nationalized. We are completely under the control of that. Let's check to see what our margins are on this. $21 billion being made off of sales and $9 billion in profits. That are actually, so whenever you actually have a complete nationalization over a sector, the profits from that are added into the state's tax revenue. So this one, you're actually making $9 billion as it says, and that's going directly into what do you call it, we only have 11 people working there. Let's, yikes, we've not been paying attention to this. Let's go ahead and add 100,000. It's going to cost $9 billion. Let's go ahead and add 100,000 workers to 3rd generation nuclear power plant. And then let's give them a salary of 6,000. That's going to cost $179 million, but that is actually going to probably go up. But we actually do have the excess for it, so we're going to go ahead and deal with that. We have 61.7% of our electricity coming from fossil fuels, so that's going to be changing as we actually continue to move toward nuclear solutions. And just as you guys can hear, you're probably hearing that you can actually hear the music now. So for some reason you could hear nothing before that. So I'll go ahead and probably put some music in there if I can remember. But so let's go over to Army. We have 1.4 million active duty troops on our soil. We still have 5,000 to go. This is trending upward because of our investment. Let's go ahead and make sure. We're going to go ahead and shoot for about 1 million missiles. So let's go for about 200,000. That's going to cost $25 billion, but again, we can actually afford that. And whenever that's a one-time cost, that's literally just being added to your national debt. I think you're actually borrowing that money for that. Let's call for a higher pay for our troops. Go ahead and give them $4,000 a month. We're going to go ahead and just do that equally at $4,000 exactly, just flat. It's going to cost $5.4 billion actually. We have 865,000 reservists and 6,000 commandos. Let's go ahead and max that out. It's going to cost another $4 billion. And again, we can actually afford that. We have pacifism, everyone likes that. Environment, people like that. But energy independence and energy, people really don't like that. Let's go ahead and come over to head of state. And again, we're really going to try to get to the presidential election. We're going to try to get to at least August. I know I kind of only advance a couple of months every time I play this. And no, that's not because I've actually had a couple of people ask me this. It's not because I actually know there's something wrong with the game. You know, there's always going to be stuff wrong, and if something goes wrong, then you know, that's the end of the series, I guess. Let's go to immigration. I'm actually not going to deport anyone, and we're not going to advance with the construction of the border wall at the border with Mexico. So let's check the situation. Actually, we did actually deport them. $61 billion being added to our surplus this year, or this quarter actually. And again, we should actually be outside of the deficit that we were actually in, or not the deficit, the recession that we were actually trending toward. Wow, look at that recovery right there. It's like a V recovery that we actually talk about whenever we're talking about different recoveries for the coronavirus. So this is actually what a recovery like that would look like. It would actually not be immediate, but it would actually be over the course of a couple of months, maybe even a year. So that's what a V-shaped recovery actually looks like whenever you talk about a recession. So confidential information on Russian Federation. The Russian government secretly finances Italian mafia's terrorists which attack Italy. We're not going to do anything with that information, but then we're going to go over to the Organization of Economically something developments. But anyway, Papua New Guinea actually wants to join the organization, so we're going to actually accept that organization, since we actually want to have closer relations with Papua New Guinea. We actually have neutral relations with the nation. So Papua New Guinea could actually be another nation we could actually look forward. Let's go ahead and give them $250 million worth of aid. And then we're going to pause this right here. 2.33 annual growth, and then previous estimate of 0.75. So that's really, really, really good. We are at what, 2%, almost 2.5%. And unemployment stands at 3% as a result from the last one, as I correctly predicted that it was going to go up, because we got to 1% unemployment. We have made very little progress, but the overall results are very, very good. So unemployment is still at a record low, and we really, really don't have to worry about it. Let's go over to work, see what unemployment is actually doing. Look at that. Whenever we actually went into the recession, we actually had a drop in unemployment. So people were actually getting jobs and trying to recover themselves, and then we had a gradual decrease in unemployment all the way down to nearly 0%. 0.4% seems to have been the highest one, or the lowest point that we actually had, and now we're gradually going back up toward 3%. So that is really, really good in terms of recovery, and GDP per capita has actually been gradually going up. So what we can actually do to stimulate that, we're going to go ahead and call for a higher minimum wage. Do that. It's going to cost $2 billion to the state. We're in a deficit now, 0.12% deficit. We're going to go ahead and rely on economic growth to actually recover us from that without actually cutting costs to anything. Let's go over to space research. Let's see what's going on in space. See what our Zeus program is doing. 0% chance of failure. We're on track to do it in 2022. I actually am not really going to race to try to get to Mars. Put Journey to Mars on there. We're actually still have a couple preliminary missions that we still have not completed. We have protection against cosmic rays, which we have not researched yet, and then the other one that we have is that we need to put another exploration robot on the Martian service, but we're not really going to invest that kind of money into it. Well, you know what, and I say that, but space probe with an exploration robot, $1 billion. If we max it out at $5 billion, call it a day, 25 months. Let's go ahead and look into that possibility. Let's see if we can actually get it done by 2022. Maybe if we can get it off the ground by 2022, then we might be able to do that. Let's go ahead and call this the Vogel 1. I'm going to call that the Vogel 1, maxing it out at $5 billion, and then 2022, we got it. Let's move the launch date as far backward as we can. Wow, that's a big difference. 11%. Let's cancel. Estimated risk of failure, 20%. What about in December of that year? Okay, so we're not going to be in a prime position. Let's go ahead and move it later into the month of... Okay, that's 8% chance of failure. 2022. If we don't do it in 2022, we're not going to be able to get it off the ground until 2024. And then 2024 is going to be very pivotal, because that's whenever Spacewise is actually supposed to land on Mars. So if we actually get it done right here, we can actually really move forward very quickly. So then let's go back. Let's increase the budget by $5 billion. It's going to cost about $10 billion. So we're literally dropping like $10 billion on one single space program just to make sure that we're on the moon first. So again, and if you actually are being like, well, why are you spending that kind of money on that? I love space. I like the addition of space programs into this game, because I really do like the investment into space that we can actually have. And I feel like that if we actually do have more investment into space, then we're actually going to be able to advance as a nation and as a world. Vogel 1's prepare for liftoff. Then we have presidential elections. This is in Burundi. So a new president has actually been elected. This is the next president. This guy is Felusi Tumuranhamana. Next election is in 19 days. So, alright guys, and we are back for the second part of this video. So what we are actually looking at right now is the launch of the Mars 2020 space program. It is now an imminent liftoff. So let's go ahead and watch on this launch to see if anything goes wrong during launch.
4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition.
Alright, and nothing goes wrong on that launch. We finally watch it lift off from Cape Canaveral. We have a forest fire over in Arkansas, but we're still under steady control of that. We now have the closing ceremony of the Tokyo Summer Olympics, and then we are now looking at the performance of the United States, and we are on top of the world. It looks like that the youth and the sports attaché, even though how corrupt he is, he actually is giving us the commendation that we actually need for that. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to continue fast forwarding. We're really trying to get to the presidential election in this episode. So I know you guys have actually been waiting for the presidential election, so we're going to go ahead and try to get to that in the duration of this episode. So I know you guys are really maybe excited for it. Got a 35. I wish you could actually name these highways. Oklahoma City Highway. This is actually known as I-35. Yikes, we have a Jihadist Caliphate. Okay, Jihadist Caliphate. That is the terrorist group. So let's go over here, Jihadist Caliphate. And then let's go ahead and monitor, see which one is that. Gone to Baker's twice in one day. Wow, I guess that's a terrorist. Sold some DVDs, ordered some sex toys. Had a relationship with a greeter. Saw a violent film. Slept on a bus. This one played a first-person shooter. This one reinforced his front door and bought a second mobile phone. Bought a mini drone and a mini camera, and then bought a second phone. Oh my god, we actually have no idea who this guy is going to be. Let's... Mini drone and a camera. Let's go ahead and proceed with an arrest on this guy. Try to see if he's the terrorist. Neutralization. Wow, we actually got it right. Okay, cool. That was, I guess, because usually they're always, like, buying, like, nails and stuff. Like, they're usually wanting to make a bomb. So that's actually the first time I've ever had to arrest someone like that without them actually having like bought nails, because that's usually the telltale sign of what they're actually building. 100 fighters have finally been delivered to the United States. Awesome. You can do better by the Chinese. I don't care about you, China. Attempted assassination of Rick Bauer. So that's the governor of Mississippi is no longer in danger, is already giving a statement to the journalist. So he actually tried to assassinate the governor of Mississippi. So that's interesting right there. It's a first terrorist plot that I've actually been able to stop of an assassination of like a state figure. So Mississippi right here. Look at a little Confederate flag right there. It's so cute. Bert Schuster. So we're running against Charles Schumer in this presidential election. Let's go over to the election. 32, 29, 20. Wow, look at these third-party candidates. These are completely different from the actual campaign. So let's go over to the campaign. We're maybe not going to participate in election fraud. Let's go to Michigan. And actually, let's see who's on the campaign trail. We're only doing 4 candidates, so we don't have to run against like 20,000 different parties. So we're only doing 4 different candidates. 79% program campaign promise. Let's go ahead and do... Let's go over Ohio. Let's go ahead and just start it off in Ohio. And then we're going to do this on Thursday. We're going to get that. So one of the best things to actually do is to call for more, like, just more people into certain things. Look at that. That already put my thing over at 90. So that's one of the easiest ways, and then you always just keep your biggest things like for the debate. So once I actually get that to about 100, then what I can actually do is I can literally just skip the 60 days to go to the debate. Then I'm just gonna have a couple more like just minimal campaign things and then just fundraise the entire time. It's actually one of the best strategies to do it. Actually, as soon as we get it to 100, what I can actually do is I can actually start talking to some of the key figures and just talk to them literally the entire time and get the support of those key figures and get them to actually start giving me money, give me support and all that. I actually have better relations with both of the billionaires actually. So you know what, actually what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get best of both worlds. I'm gonna get both of these guys to actually fund my campaign, since both of them actually like me. Valuation.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Mitch McConnell. I don't have to do that. So we're in September of 2020. We have the the right-wing billionaire. So let's go ahead and get him a little drunk. Let's go ahead and ask him to speak highly of me in public. Ask him to support me at the election, and then ask him to fund my party. And then let's go to the next day, and then ask the same thing of the other guy. I'll not do that. Speak highly of me in public. We disagree on some points, and then ask him to fund my party. And then let's go ahead and get more money off of that. And by the way, we're going to go ahead and invest about $10 million into cyber protection. And then we're going to go ahead and ask for another $12 million into a fundraising campaign. And then so that is actually going to really, really help us. So let's go ahead and publicly criticize a political party. So let's go ahead and publicly criticize the Socialist Ecologist Party, which is actually the Green Party. Or in this game, it is the Party for the Defense of Nature. 4.5 million people are actually sympathizing with the movement. 1.1% in the 2016 election. They have 0 seats in Congress, which actually I don't think... I don't know what happens to the midterm elections in my playthrough, but hopefully we actually do have to deal with the midterm elections in 2022. There is a riot in Little Rock. Great. Finally,
we have subdued
that.
Movement.
We have confidential information on the Russian Federation. They are financing terrorists that attack Germany. What is the Russian mafia? $93 million given to us by that guy. $9.9 million, another $10 million from the other billionaire. But we're going to go ahead and depend on the right-wing billionaire, actually. Let's go over to elections. Let's see what's going on here. 87, 22, 10, and 4. So the third one is actually... So what I can actually do... I actually have information on him. Secret scandal corruption. Oh my god, we're gonna reveal that. Okay, we actually have stuff on him where we can actually reveal that before the election. So just to make sure that these guys are not going to do anything. What about Charles Schumer? Development investigation. He's a difficult, wary target. Very charismatic personality. Influential figure of great repute. Honest and loyal. Good. That's kind of good. Feeling with regard to head of state veneration, if you can actually tell me what that means. He is center left. So no information on him so far. He actually really, really likes me. Let's see if we can actually try to get him to drop out of the election. We're gonna ask this guy, you know what, cancel. I'm gonna see what we can actually do. I'll see what we can actually do on these people. Yom Kippur, let's go ahead and attend that. Liberation of demonstrators, anti-racism, sabotage an oil well in Iran. Let's go ahead and actually do that. Carry out that sabotage operation, and let's meet with the Democratic Union. Let's go ahead and offer him some champagne, get him drunk, tell him that he is loved by his people, and then what can we do? We have a bribe. We can encourage him to withdraw his candidacy from the elections. Let's go ahead and see what happens whenever we try to do that.
I'm sorry, but...
Yeah, I guess he just really likes me, but he just really doesn't want to drop out because we don't really have that much of a similar platform, but what you can actually do is actually, if you have a similar platform with someone else, like this guy right here, who is actually representing the Libertarian Party of the United States, he is actually more likely to drop out from the election. So what I can actually do is I can actually threaten to make this affair public, which is a corruption allegation.
In the name of the friendship that has united us for several years, I ask you not to reveal anything of this matter, which could have a devastating effect on my personal life. You know the great loyalty I have for you, and this can only be consolidated if you have the tact to keep all this to yourself.
Yeah, he's drunk.
I'm sorry.
Oh, you're not going to withdraw? Okay, I'll reveal that information right before the election then, sir. $1.4 billion, $1.04 billion. The polls favor 48% of the vote off of this next election poll. So, wow, it's actually the spoiler candidates of this election are actually going to be the Green Party and then the Independent Party. So that's actually really interesting. 4.5 million sympathizers, 14.7 million sympathizers in this current time. We have, wow, look at the Libertarian Party. He's costing the United States budget $41 billion. 34% popularity off of that. Let's go ahead and go over to... let's try to win Wisconsin. Let's go over there. Let's do that on Wednesday. And just so I can get a couple of these things, I actually really want to promise lower taxes. So if I actually promise some lower taxes, people are actually really like that. So let's reduce taxes. You know what? I don't know what that's going to do to my thing. So let's go over to... Okay, what I don't want to do, let's go ahead and offer better pay to certain people. Okay, so I think I did more healthcare workers. What I can actually do this time, I can actually offer... Okay, for one thing, let's actually promise the specific criminalization of street harassment. Let's see how that does with mine. That actually improves it, so that's actually going to be a campaign promise I can actually keep, which will be really easy to pass. Indiana, Illinois. Let's go ahead and do Illinois since they're not that much of a state. No, yeah, Illinois is not that much of a state. Let's do police. Let's go ahead and increase their salary to $4,000, and let's see how that turns out. 91% popularity, and let's go ahead and start skipping forward. Scheduled liftoff of Moose. What the hell is Moose? What in the world is Moose? Let's go space research. Moose. That is the space habitation module of that. So that's actually a part of my plan to create a new space station, actually. So that actually, I remember that one. That one I actually made literally right as I started the game, 1/3/19. So that's interesting. Let's go ahead, get rid of that song. $22 trillion of our GDP, 330 million people in the United States. Let's go to culture, heritage and monuments. Make sure to keep that Confederate flag in place. And what about, can I do that? No, that's not going to be allowed. Let's do half of that. Let's go ahead and do that. So let's connect that to Florida. Make sure we do that. Performance Hall, $3.7 million. And let's do that on Monday. So then, let's go back to elections. See the candidates. 89, I guess people didn't really like that. Colorado. Performance Hall. And then, let's do that on Wednesday. And let's do some more researchers. 1.7 million researchers, a part of the United States, 99 popularity. So I think we're done on that part, just to kind of like Let's do like one last rally cry before, but I think I'm just really gonna wait until we can actually, the Moose space program imminent liftoff, we're gonna refuse to watch that. We have a couple of these rallies right here. And then Republican Alliance
campaign has been
really successful, so let's go ahead and immediately launch another fundraising campaign that actually got us $100 million in that. Corporate donations, $136 million, $96 million off of these recent fundraisers. Let's go ahead and launch another fundraiser and invest about a couple more $1 million back into cybersecurity. Let's do this at $15 million. $15 million into cybersecurity. And budget, current budget, $264 million. $25 million going back into cyber protections. $24 million costing us of fundraisers. $18 million for campaign rallies, and then $5 million for INS polling. So, determine the legality. It's a free multi-party system. So let's go over to education. Let's offer our educators better pay. And let's do that in Connecticut. I know I'm kind of running in some of these states where you really don't want to win, or we really don't think that the president's going to win at, but I mean, yeah, I mean, it's okay. Let's go ahead and accept that. Heritage and monuments. And promise of manpower in Colorado. So let's go ahead and keep going. Let's get through October at least. And then what we're going to do, we're going to come over here. So I think we're going to go ahead and let this run by, and then we're going to see what happens by the middle of October. And there's a big uptick in support for the Democratic Party right now. We actually have 40% of the vote going toward Donald Trump, 34% going toward the Democratic Party, and then 14% going toward the other parties, or 14 and then 10%, so that's like 24%, 25% actually if you add that all up. So 25% is actually going toward so much more of the other parties. So these are actually the spoiler candidates of that. So unfortunately, if these guys are actually going to be getting electoral votes, then we actually are not doing anything on these people. Let's go to political parties. Let's go to criticize a political party, and then let's again criticize the Ecologist Party. Let's see if we can try to get them to lose some support. $56 billion added to our surplus in this recent quarter. And then, looks like we have no issues, by the way, with that other thing. So let's compensation for catastrophes. What the heck? 73% is our approval rating right now. Let's go to associations. Let's start asking for support from different kinds of associations. So we have the National Club for Drivers' Rights. We have the unions. Let's see if we can get some union support. Let's go over to organizations, parties in power, institutions, actually. These guys probably don't have that much. Let's go ahead and ask the... Let's ask the Speaker of the House, actually, to ask to get our support. Let's invite Nancy Pelosi over and ask her to get everyone to vote for us. Can you imagine if this actually happened in real life? Let's offer her some champagne, tell her she is charming. I bet any other woman would actually be probably really, like, uncomfortable in this situation with Donald Trump, because apparently there's a lot of other things that he has done. But I'm not saying that it is true, but I'm just making a joke. But let's go ahead and offer a glass of champagne, tell him he is radiant, tell your militants, blah, 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 blah. Ask him to speak highly of me in public and encourage him. Looks like he's not going to do that, so we'll probably assassinate him later. Champagne, tell him he's radiant, tell him, like, militants, speak highly of me in public, please, and then Encourage people. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for asking people to vote for me. Let's go ahead and try to see if that actually upticks our approval. Actually, it did. Bet. Let's go ahead and do that a little bit more. Let's see what other unions we can actually get on our side. 3.1 million people, 400,000 people. Union of wage earners. What I can actually do with this guy, let's actually do that. We're gonna meet with him, and then we're gonna meet with another billionaire. We're gonna meet with the same billionaire before that, and we're gonna actually ask him for more money.
Sure.
And because usually one of the best things about election campaigns,
it's nice of you, but
I did not mean to give you that. Support me at the next elections. You're the richest, most generous, and then ask him to fund my party. One of the best things about election campaigns, actually, is one of the biggest things is literally it's like just a money job. Like you just get as much freaking money as you can. Let's negotiate something with him. We're gonna go ahead and negotiate the minimum salary.
What kind of offer do you wish to make us?
Let's go ahead and increase that by about $100. $1,600 is going to be the minimum wage. That is actually monthly. So let's go ahead and offer that to him, and then offer that. Solidarity contribution, average work week, paid allowance paid to job seekers. Let's go ahead and end that meeting, and then also propose that same legislation right here. Let's go over that. What is our unemployment rate actually right now? 4%. Oh, yikes, that is a big yikes. And let's go ahead and put that at $1,600. It's going to cost $4.7 billion. And let's go ahead and do that at a sports center in California. And let's do that on Saturday, actually. 2.8%, 2.4. John Foxton out of the leading trio. Finally. We don't have to... I mean, we can still reveal that information on him. 38 to 37. Holy crap, we are so freaking close. We need to find something to, like, tell the Democrats to kiss my ass. Like, I need to... We are now in the simultaneous 25 days away from the legislative election. So I guess that's actually what it is. It's 25 days from Parliament's elections, and then 60 days for presidential election. So that's going to be the time frame that you're usually looking at. So usually, especially since the United States has the House of Representatives and the Senate, part of the Senate actually, these two actually start 25 days before the actual election takes place. So that is the time frame you're usually looking at. Election campaign, John Foxton out of the bleeding trio with just 12% of the vote. Intention isn't among the top 3. But there is still a massive amount of like literally this is literally like would be decided among the House of Representatives. This is probably going to be an extremely close election. I am still in the lead, but oh my god, this is horrible. We really need to make it to the debates.
You have put together a good electoral program.
So it looks like I'm going to be able to get my base to come out. Alright, let's go back again to the businessman. Let's meet with him and tell him this is October 13th. Forest fire follow-up. We're going $21 billion. Jesus Christ. Let's go ahead and give that $15 billion. Jesus Christ. Promise of that. Everything looks good. Meeting. Just give me my damn money. Robert Coolerick. Ask him to fund my party.
Yeah.
Excuse me? Excuse me? I want my money! I want my money! No! I want my money.
The fundraising campaign has been really successful.
$12 million in profits? Wow, these elections, this is the October surprise. There's a hurricane hitting the United States. I'm having a mental breakdown right now. Oh my god, what is going on? What is going on? This is crazy. Holy god. This is the election campaign y'all have been waiting for. It's hitting Florida. 73%. presidential elections. This is in Belarus. Wow, they actually had a new guy be elected. Jesus Christ, let's go ahead and give him some support. Our diplomatic relations are actually similar to Burke. Comes second just behind you. Oh, God. Okay, so this is a new poll, 38-34. Okay, so the Democrats are losing ground among that, but it's still 30-30, and then like another 25 on the other one. Like, this is like some of the weirdest presidential election. The Green Party of all places, the Green Party is probably going to get a massive amount of seats in the Senate and in the House. So like, this is really, really interesting to see where this is going to go. Candidates, let's do one more campaign promise on the field, and then we're gonna like try to get a couple more people. Let's do North Carolina. North Carolina is right here. Performance Hall, and then let's do that on a Saturday. Let's offer lower payroll tax. I know a lot of people would like that. So let's offer a lower payroll tax, and hopefully that is going to be the turning tide of this election campaign. We are nearing the election right now. We're about 10 days away.
Your electoral program.
Disappointing. God, I hate Mike. Well, I almost called him Mike Pence. I freaking hate this guy. Oh God, I thought that was another riot. Thank you. Moose space program has been completed. Awesome, awesome, awesome. What kind of electoral fraud scandals do we actually have? Ballots destroyed during counting, double enrollment of electors, and ended dead voting. TV debate. That tomorrow evening, this is going to be the final straw. I think we actually have one more. Let's go ahead and do this.
Good evening. The highly anticipated debate will begin in a few moments' time. The candidates are ready. Naturally, we will ensure that they are given equal speaking time. This will be closely monitored. We have also set up a new instant polling system to gauge viewers' reactions to the candidates' arguments, and in some...
Alright. Police.
So, what's your opinion on the matter?
First one's going to be the police. Okay, we have not instituted that as a... Let's do 1.5 million. It's going to cost $15 billion. Let's actually reduce that by about... That's going to cost less than $10 billion. So let's go ahead and...
I know how much public
see.
security is.
Yikes, that didn't do much. Okay,
Thank
let's
you.
see what this guy's going to do.
On.
He literally proposed the same
I know
exact
how
thing.
much public security is.
Okay, that's good.
Thank you. Let's
We need to
move
do
on
exceptionally
another
well
issue.
in this debate. We need to like
So,
at least fill the bar once.
What's your opinion
Education, if he more vacation days.
It is essential to maintain.
Okay, so it's gonna
Very
come back to
well.
me. So I'm actually gonna improve
Coming over
funding
to you.
to something. Or do I actually already? Let's offer them more pay.
National education must not be analyzed under the
And-
prism
oh,
of spending.
that was
but
great,
as
great,
an investment in
great.
the future.
That does
It is
not
the
sound like
knowledge of
Donald
our-
Trump.
Thank you. It's now time for the second...
Well, I
Work.
would like some
What are we gonna do?
clarification on this
Well,
matter.
oh damn it! I
which
already
you've
did
bandied
a
about, in my
what do you call
opinion,
it?
throughout the campaign.
I've already done one thing. What I could actually do? Let's combat employment discrimination and checks on gender equality in the workplace, and then the laws that we can actually do. Average working week. I don't know if people would actually like it if we actually reduce the amount of working hours. Let's allowance paid. Budget. Let's go over to the budget, and then let's do better checks on gender equality.
Let us not delude
Yeah, that
ourselves.
got a little bit, but I'm going to go ahead and cheat the system. We're going
I
to tell
would
him
like
about
to
the
hear you
army,
talk about
which he
this subject,
cannot
as I
answer, so
feel
it's kind of
you've been
funny.
quite vague
Watch.
as to where.
Yep. It's literally like
Thank
a know
you.
nothing
We
answer.
are
So if you
now
want to
coming
like
to
have
the
an easy
end
way to get
of the
around the
debate. I
election,
would like to ask both candidates to wrap up now.
yeah, we're gonna do
and
one final promise. So let's see. What? What? Wait, controls and censorship for minors. Okay, so the current value is controls and censorship.
You are well
Oh no!
aware of
No!
my
No!
deep commitment to
Oh no! Oh god! Oh god! That scared me. Oh, we almost lost this. Research, justice, family, health. Let's go to legislation and tax exemptions for companies using retirement by capitalization. $188 billion. Let's see.
Life expectancy is
that was
increasing.
great.
Society is evolving, and our senior citizens are naturally
dominated.
increasingly job
Dominated.
seekers. The state must respond to these expectations and ensure a decent life to its elders. I will enforce that it does not.
Thank you once again to both of you for the clean and fair debate. And to all our valued viewers, our instant polling system has
Ronald Trump
designated
conquered
a
the
good
public.
evening.
Awesome, 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 awesome. We won that debate and got rid of that song. 70% of viewers found your participation more convincing than Burke Schuster's. Cheers, Mr. President. So awesome, awesome, awesome. We finally did that.
Congratulations.
Your campaign agenda. So we are exiting this presidential election with some of the best of instances. Hopefully we actually see a poll. I think there's usually at least one more poll that comes out right after the debate. So let's 38, 34, 15, and 11. So let's see the program. We have all of these. I think we actually hit our max amount of campaign statements. People aren't liking that, but we're closing in on 80% popularity, so we're probably in the best position right now for a presidential election. So all right, we went off with Kentucky, West Virginia, we won Vermont, South Carolina, we're probably gonna win in, oh my god, we won Connecticut. 43-37. Yeah, like literally. Wait, DC was won by the Democrats. Okay, 3 electoral votes over there. Maryland, we win Maryland. Massachusetts, 1. New Hampshire. This is going to be an electoral landslide. Pennsylvania, won by the Republican Party, 136 electoral votes, 142. We are going to sweep the entire South. Only 3 electoral votes are being awarded to the Democratic Party. No electoral votes have been awarded to either the Green Party or the Libertarian Party. I can't even read. John Foxton. We didn't even have to reveal the information on him. So it looks like we are actually winning the election by a very, very specific margin, because we were literally winning by about 40%. In polling matters. So usually for some reason that's actually what we did. We have now over 300 electoral votes from the presidential election. New Mexico has been won by the president of the United States. Colorado is definitely going to be given to us. We actually won Illinois, for one thing. I actually didn't say that. We won Illinois. I don't even know what the margin of victory was in Illinois, but my god. 347 electoral. We won California. We won California. We won Hawaii. We won Oregon. We won Washington. 43% of the vote in Washington. We win Virginia for the first time since 2008. We win Florida again. Arizona stays with the Republican Party. Colorado goes to the Republican Party. First time since 2004. Nevada goes to the Republican Party. Alaska stays. Indiana stays with the Republican Party. Montana, obviously going to the Republican Party. North Carolina goes to the Republican Party. And Missouri goes to the Republican Party. 535 electoral votes to 3 electoral votes. The one district in the United States of America won by the Democratic Party was Washington, D.C. 3 electoral votes to Charles Schumer, and 535 to Donald Trump. This was a textbook electoral landslide, largest in American history. Awesome, awesome, awesome. 535 electoral votes to 3 electoral votes. We actually, I mean, that was actually a really specific margin. We won every single state in the United States. That is the first time that has ever happened in American history, as there have been electoral landslides before where only one state actually voted for the Democratic Party. And both actually, it's kind of funny because the only times in American history that there have been Republican landslides that there were just one state voting against them, they usually always won by over 500 electoral votes. Score for the political program, we actually tied the Democratic Party popularity. I had better popularity than the Democrats. Televised debate, 70% of people actually liked it. Score from groups, I actually did 3rd on that. So usually the groups are usually my my downfall sometimes. Looks like we actually won among athletes of all people. Unions actually we actually did worse among unions. There was only a couple of unions that actually liked me. AIDS, these are the associations. We won among, who did we win among? We actually won among hunters. We won among self-defense organization by very, very comfortable margin. Women, actually, I came in last for women. Unions, we won among the employers, the federal employers union. Energy actually voted for the Green Party. Wow, interesting. Industry, looks like industry really liked the Democrats. They really did not like me. Magistrates really did not like me. Medical, I came in 3rd. Police, I came in 3rd with the police. Of all people, the police didn't like me. I came in 4th with public, with railway, with students. I came in 3rd with teachers, ironically. Truckers, I came in last. Wow, everyone really did not like me. Let's see what the margin of victory actually was in Washington, D.C. 43% to 37%, so it was still a very comfortable margin, or uncomfortable margin for the Democrats, but the Washington, D.C. area has actually not voted for a Democrat since ever since they became the 23rd Amendment actually allowed them to vote. Ever since then they have consistently voted Democrat in every single presidential election ever since 1968. So if you guys like this, go ahead and leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you actually really enjoyed this presidential election episode, please just give a comment down below. Let me know what that is, what you thought about it. And yeah, if you want to see more of the United States, go ahead again, leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and we will go on with the inauguration of the second term of President Trump in the next episode of the United States. So again, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.